All right. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Welcome to the Inner Circle Live Asian session. I'm your host, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Rand Carthage. And we're all so happy and grateful for each and every one of you being here with us this evening. As always, we take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals as they relate to the Forex market to see what we could possibly take advantage of so we could collect these pips. So without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions. Grab a pen and paper for notes, and let's make sure that we continue to do an excellent job of participating and engaging. So if everybody can hear me loud and clear, drop me a one in the chat. I want to make sure my sound is good and we can get this session going. Good evening, everyone. All right. Okay. Thanks for the confirmation. Appreciate it. Ryan, good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening, bro. I'm doing well, man. How are you?
Doing great. Doing great. So glad to be here. Lot of news today, huh?
Yeah, man. It was definitely an interesting day. Definitely an interesting day. Some surprises came out the bag.
Right. So let's scroll it all the way back for this July 13th. So the first thing I want to point out before we get to the heavy stuff, or at least the red folders, is that the GDP for the UK snuck in on us, came in ahead of forecast. That's very important. That's some good news for the UK as they have been getting hammered as of late. But it came in above forecast, so much so that Goldman Sachs is kind of scaling back their predictions on a recession. So I am going to, give me 1 second. I have an article that I'm going to put in the chat. So they have reduced the odds of the UK going into a recession based off of this report. So that was the first big news early today. So that's pretty good for the pounds, especially as we look at some of these pound pairs being at key levels. And I'm going to paste this article here. This came off of Pound Sterling Live. So everybody will have that. All right. Carolyn's greetings to you as well. All right. So that should be there. And Ryan, if you could double check that link for me, make sure I copied it all. Sometimes I don't. We're good. Okay. So you guys can catch up on that. So that was good news. So we want to keep that in mind as we go through the pairs this evening. And then the CPI, right? Came in at 1.3. So overall, we go to trading economics. It hits 9.1%. Red hot inflation. So we were talking about it last night that a lot of people were expecting it to be at a record high, 9.1%. So I think that's the first time since like 1981. Yeah, November 1981, right there in the article. So, hey, the feds are going to be more aggressive to get it under control. So we know we've been talking about 75 basis points, and we know that we got hit in Canada today with 100 basis points. So that was the surprise coming out of Canada today. Economists was thinking 50. The market priced in 75. They came through with 100 basis points. So yeah, entire percent. So that's big news coming out of Canada. We were talking last night how overall the Canadian economy is pretty strong, pretty much hitting on all cylinders. So they're pretty good there. So they went ahead and raised it 100 basis points. So the question is, with this 9.1 rate that came through today for June, we'll see if the Federal Reserve comes through with 75 or if they decide to move it to 100 basis points. Ryan, what do you think is going to happen there?
I definitely think that opportunity is there. Read a couple articles today. I got to go back and find them, and I'll share them this evening. But the federal funds futures is predicting that there's like a 45 or 47% chance that they do come in at 100 basis points. So the sentiment shifted from yesterday to today. Yesterday, that percentage was at like 1 or 2%. So big jump after the CPI data and after the Bank of Canada rate statement. So I think there's a chance. I'm still leaning more towards a 75.
Yeah,
If it comes in above, could definitely see some. I think some fear come back into the market if they press that extra 25 basis points above it.
yeah, yeah. I agree. So we'll see what happens. And I mean, I get what they're doing. You get aggressive now when they're playing catch up, but you get aggressive now in case you have to roll these rates back later. Um, if you end up moving into a prolonged recession, right? So,
Yeah,
uh,
and they said that too in the statement that
okay,
they underestimated inflation. They didn't think it was as high as it was initially back in March and April. So that's more why they're pressing the pedal now to try to catch up, like you said. So they
yeah,
acknowledge that.
yeah, yeah, awesome. And I think investors were right when they were speculating that inflation may have peaked last month. And we all have to remember, everybody, this is lagging data. This is from prior month. So in the prior month, when everybody, because now I was looking at some of the sites today, and people were commenting like, well, gas is coming down, and well, yeah, because we're looking at data from last month, right? So this 9.1 stamp that we got today, we were all feeling that last month, right? We were feeling every single bit of that 9.1% last month. So it's lagging data. And we are starting to see some things start to come down, but that won't reflect until you look at the data next month. So August, you'll be looking at July's data. So just know that it's lagging. The data is lagging. So we are already living through 9.1%. And that's, so we know how that feels. We felt it in real time. Okay. So that's where we are there. So with that being said, hey, dollar long. It looks like we're gonna get that. We're gonna get that extension. Looks like we're gonna get that extension on the US dollar. So it continues to be bullish. So we'll see as it gets closer to that target. I think if we see the corrections, unless there's any major drama, fundamentally something that happens. If you see major correction in the dollar, it's going to be from profit taking, right? People starting to take profit. But for the most part, we are still long the dollar, right? That's pretty clear cut there. We're moving straight up right now. So with that being said, I want to take a look at the some of these dollar pairs as we get out the gate. And we'll look at the first we'll look at this UCAD since it's bouncing around, which that hey, we can expect that, right? Somebody's got to win. Okay, you got major news coming out, 9.1% inflation stamp today coming out of the US. Canada hikes rates by 100 basis points. This is what you get. Something, price is just ranging. Something will eventually give. All right, it'll eventually give. So that's just bouncing around. So continue to keep a close eye on that to see who wins out. But it's continuing to test that level, and we'll see. We'll see if the Bulls run out of steam in regards to this pair. But that's pretty much all I have on that UCAD. So that's why I started out with that one first, because it's just hovering. Right? There's nothing you can do right now at this point. Ryan, are you were in this before? You were long, right?
Yep, I'm still long on it.
You're still long, still holding
I'm
long
still
thing. It's
long
gonna
on
break
it.
resistance. It can go either way.
Yeah,
It can go either way.
it could definitely go either way for sure. Some more news coming out tomorrow, the PPI number, but
Yep.
I think as the dollar pushes up to get close to that D extension, I think we could push higher here.
Think it'll take it. Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely took some profit off the table, but it moved my stop up. But I'm still long.
Okay. Cool. Any questions on this pair? Two fairly strong pairs right now. Having a pretty good fight. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 days now. All right. Yep. That's pretty clear cut there. Hold on one second. Casey, good evening.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. You doing all right?
I'm doing good.
Yeah. Long day?
I'm just tired. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You've been busy. You've been busy in the group. Busy saving Detroit. Busy yeah, so round the clock busy. So glad you're able to join us this evening though. For sure. All right. So that's the UCAT. Let's take a look at the dollar Swiss. And it is long. It just missed my limit. It is what it is. Maybe if we break the highs, I get a pullback, then maybe I'll look to take it. But right now, that's moving up. I don't know if it'll come back to that 61.8, the way that dollar is moving towards that D extension on the DXY. But that's where we are. And I was checking it earlier. We've got a stochastic in the buy zone because when I seen that it came right off that 50, I'm like, oh man, what's the chances of it pulling back and moving deeper to that 61.8? So yeah, that is the play. We got the correction that we were looking for. Just didn't quite make it to the buy limit. It looks like it's going long. So I'll wait to see if we can maybe drop down to the lower time frame, see if we can get a pullback, and then maybe look to get in on it. But kind of going according to plan, except for it didn't hit the buy limit. So long on the dollar Swiss. So continue to keep an eye out on this pair. Any questions on the dollar Swiss?
No, sir.
No, we're good.
Yep.
All right. All right. That's a decent play there. So continue to watch out for that. And then this one held that level, man. So
Yeah.
I'm glad I put in on it. So yeah, continue for it to get long. It's closing in on that extension. So continue to follow that UJ long. That's almost there. 138.42, put the target just before the extension. So coming out of that zone off that daily support, this has moved 357 pips. Yeah, yeah. So that's been a really good move. And that's from, what is this, June 23rd, right, to today. So looking forward to that one hitting the D extension. Congratulations if you were able to take that trade. I know some people were long on the UJ for a while. Let me clear this out. I'm sorry, guys. I got the days on there. But this was that above, right? Taking it above. So this was actually an opportunity for that break to add to the position if you were already long, right? Either by having your limit set or entering around that 61.8 zone. But this is looking like a beautiful ABCD move. All right. So this is how it goes. And it can get choppy and nasty at times. But look, B, C came up just shy at 786. So we still project a 1.618 D extension. Any questions on the UJ?
No, sir. That was a rocking, but it's going.
Yeah, it is. It is. And it takes time to get to the point where you feel comfortable maybe holding some positions. And again, you can take profit along the way and add to positions like we did with this break above 137. But like Ryan always says, give yourself some grace, give yourself some time. You'll definitely get there. If that's the type of trader you want to be, you might not want to be. So, but at least you were in the right direction. Okay, so that's the UJ. If we don't have any questions on that one, we'll keep it moving. Let me look at that from the weekly. I put a weekly fib. I was checking out all types of stuff today to see where that might start to exhaust. But when you look at this weekly fib, as you can tell how impulsive it is, right? That's a beautiful. Look at this ABCD wave here. See that deep correction? And now look at this here, this B boundary that breaks straight up to that 118, 127 zone. So it's kind of falling right in line with what we're playing with on the lower time frames. And then this is just pushing up. So we'll see. This lets me know that at some point we're looking to exhaust and correct. But right now that dollar is moving. So that's that. I want to take a look at, because tonight at 9:30, we've got employment numbers coming out for Australia. So we may see some movement on the Australian dollar. Now, if we look at most of these, um, right, we know it's been getting beat down pretty bad against a lot of these pairs. So just a quick look at the Aussie CAD, right, our ABCD wave. Okay, look, A, B, our deepest point within the AB boundary, our C, and then we're looking to get potentially to this 1.618D extension. We'll see what the reaction is with the news that comes out, but no play right now on that Aussie CAD, right? We're coming in, we're at a major daily support, but we haven't gotten that D extension yet. So I want to wait on that. We do have a new AB boundary here, right at that daily level on your daily chart. Okay, so we're starting to settle into some support. 4 hour, we're getting close to the D extension. So it's kind of a wait and see on that. No real play for me at this point. Any questions on that?
Nope. No, sir.
Awesome. Aussie Swiss. Now this is one that I'm interested in to see what the reaction is going to be with the news, because when we look at our daily chart here, okay, take that off so we can see this clearly. I was looking at that reversal. We've gotten a nice reversal off this support. Okay, and it seems to be a little bit of a theme going on with the Swiss pairs. So we've got a nice little bounce and we've got a pullback. So want to wait to see what happens with this news, because when you look at your 4, yep, we've got the down move, we've got our down AB boundary. So look, over and over and over again, okay, over and over and over again. We've got our A, we've got our B, we've got our C, we've got our D, right? Okay, now we've got a new AB boundary. So again, I'm looking for that A, that B, okay? We got a pull where it broke, right? That it broke after that shallow retracement, but we still would like to see that C. We want to see price pull back and then move down is what we want to see, okay? So trying to see if we can get a buy to the high price here, at least to the 382. So this news coming out to tell us a lot on this Aussie Swiss, whether it's going to start to make its way up against the Swiss franc, or if this is going to turn over potentially and take out this A boundary and head to the D with hardly any retracement at all. Happens sometimes, right? We're just coming off of a few deep corrections. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we've got a strong impulsive move to the downside, but we did break the trend line and we have pulled back. So it'll be interesting at 9:30 to see how price reacts to this. So this is one that you want to keep an eye on. The Aussie Swiss, that's the main one in these pairs, because if we go to I guess you could take a look at this Aussie yen, where we do have a potential crown. All right, so we didn't quite get what we did. We got a 382 pullback. It hasn't gone into deep into the buy zone yet, but we do have the potential for a crown on the Aussie yen, and it's kind of just resting now up against that trend line. Okay, it's resting up against that trend line now. So we'll see what happens with the news if it forces it down. Okay, see if it forces it down beyond that trend line. Okay, or if it holds and we start moving to the upside on that. So this is against the yen. So this one ought to be quite interesting, but we are still we've got an up AB boundary, so we're technically in an up retracement zone with the 382 pullback. We know that whenever we get a 382 pullback, even though that may not necessarily be our sweet spot to trade, we know that when we get a 382 pullback, if the bulls take over in this case, it does have the potential to run to a 1.618D extension. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that as the news arrives at 9:30. Right now, it's kind of just moving sideways Any questions on the Aussie yen?
No, sir. That's a good spot on that crown pattern. I didn't see that one.
Oh yeah, appreciate it, man. Teamwork makes the dream work, right? So this is just the zoomed in, right? Zoomed in look at what's going on. Okay, and here we are. I've got a downtrend line drawn here. Any questions on that? Just be patient. Don't have to force anything. These are big moves when they occur. Okay, so we can sit on our hands a bit. So that's the Aussie yen, Aussie NZD. Okay, just kind of hovering. Right? Not my favorite, but we'll see if that news at 9:30 can be a bit of a catalyst for us to get this moving. Because right now it's just moving sideways. Okay, moving sideways on the Aussie NZD. So nothing really to play. That's a hands-off wait and see. And then we've got the Aussie dollar, which has been bearish. Okay, that's the 1 hour. Let's look at our daily. We've got a break. We broke through all of the support. Okay, we hit this D extension off of that double top. All right, so just put it in a rewind a little bit. That was a beautiful move. We got the D extension hit. Now we've got a brand new AB boundary. Okay. Strong candle, strong bearish candle broke these levels, but now we're kind of just moving sideways. So let's see if that employment data can help us out a little bit. Need to push us further down into this 818, 118, 127 zone. Then you have that pure 80-20 setup like so. And this is from the daily chart, just a reminder. See what happens. Okay. Never know how impulsive price action may become with the news. See if it stalls there, if it pushes it down, or right, do we start to see price start to make its way in reverse a bit? Up, down, and sideways. Up, down, and sideways. All right. So just be patient. Just continue to be patient. If we move down to the 4 hour, you can see where we just came up shy of a 382 on this 4 hour fib. So if we zoom in out a little bit, just shy of a 382, maybe a possibility for it to return, push down to this zone. That would be optimal, right? Because then we all know what we're looking for at this level. Is it just going to start to move sideways and kind of stagnate a little bit? Right, and then we can look for a breakout potentially back to the upside for that deeper retracement. So we can buy to that 382 or that 61.8, or if you just want to remain bearish, you want a high price anyway. You want to wait for that price to move back up into the zone, maybe up against the trend line, and then move back, right? Then move back to the downside. Keep in mind, over the next few days, we've got that dollar approaching an extension. So it's going to be interesting to see how strong that dollar stays to the upside, all right, before it decides to correct. So that's where we are on the Aussie dollar. Any questions?
No, sir.
All right. Try to keep it simple, right? Try to keep it simple. It moves up, down, and sideways. And if it's moving up, it's going to move in waves. If it moves down, it's going to move in waves. And actually, if it moves sideways, it's going to move in waves. It just depends on how big that range is. Okay. So that's where we are. And we just wait. We wait for the big moves in the market. All right. So that's it on the Aussies. I do want to take a look at the CAD Swissy as it's breaking. Okay, you see how it's breaking this level? See how it's moving sideways, but it's starting to push up. It tried to here, but these are the moves that we look for, right? So we get inboxed all the time. We get questions about this, the counter trend move, right? So over time, you'll just learn that it's, hey, I'm just a trader, right? I flow like water. I have my key zones that I like to trade because this, look at this swing. This was moving down, right? So look at this from the daily chart. That's bearish. That's bearish. Look at that huge bearish candle. And it came right into support and started to move sideways. And then we broke back to the upside. So you just learn to become a trader. I have my key spots that no doubt when I see it, I'm going to trade it. Okay. This here, shallow retracement, it broke my B boundary. It's settled, right? We know we have a potential for these reversals, that B to C move at this point. And that's exactly what we're getting. And if that CAD is going to stay strong, continue to watch that oil price, because one of the things that's going good for Canada is the economy, but we also know that it's a commodity currency. So it could be a little tricky. They're hitting on all cylinders with the economic data. They just hiked rates by 100 points, but all these central banks are hiking rates. So one thing that we have to watch out for is demand. We have to remember that they're trying to curb demand. All right, that's why they're doing it. So if the recession fears continue to increase, right, and the sentiment starts to sour, and then everything that's going on in China with the COVID and the lockdowns and stuff like that, if there's a slowdown in demand, right, which we know that's one of the goals, and we see a drop off in demand for the oil, you may see that CAD correct. You may see it correct. So just keep that in mind when we're talking about the Canadian dollar. It still is a commodity currency, regardless of how well they're doing economically, regardless of the interest rate hikes. Okay, so it's two sides to the coin when it comes to that Canadian dollar. All right, so right now, this is that 80-20 type scenario on this subfit, but it's moving up. It's moving pretty strong. It's pretty impulsive. Okay, so just continue to ride it up. We may even hit that D extension. Okay, but right now, with the risk sentiment where it's at, I'm definitely looking for this to continue bullish. I would just like to see a correction to get a discounted price to get long. Okay, so as it moves through the zone. So if you, like we always say, if this confuses you here, just know that right now we're knocking out targets to the upside and we're moving bullish. Okay, we're moving bullish. So let's continue to see how this moves to the upside. I need a correction now at this point to add to a position to the upside. But this is why we play those swings. And again, right? Inner to outer trend line breaks. Inner to outer trend line breaks. Okay. We just got unemployment data. Let's see. Not coming through yet. Woo. Employment change. What's the rate? Don't have it yet. Let's look at the Aussie dollar. Not a lot of movement. Unemployment 3.5. Consensus was 3.8. Previously at 3.9. So not bad, not bad, not bad for Australia. Let's see. See if it's coming up yet. There we go. All right. So top forecast. So let's see if we get any type of reaction as we go through the night. So again, this is my one that I'm really looking at, is that Aussie Swiss. So we'll see if we can get some upward momentum on this pair. It's starting to move a little bit, but we will see. We will see how that goes. GBP. Which pair, Joy?
You know, I'm looking at this GJ, and this hour candle is going elevator up, elevator down.
Oh, it's dancing around. I got you. I got you. Well, we'll take a look at it for sure. All right, so that's where we are there. Any questions on the CAD Swiss before we move on? Nope. Nope. All right. Awesome. Let's take a look at the CAD yen. Just continued long, right? Continuing long. We looked at that last night. That's about to come in right at target. Right at target. So that's moving long. And so what we want to do is just wait for the next opportunity, right? Because I want to verify that I got we got an 8-6 retracement on that. So on this 1 hour, if we pull this out, because we're catching that wave to the upside, you're coming right in at this target here, right? So we're getting there. That's your 1 hour. And let me show you this 4-hour wave here. Okay. So now that's your short-term target. So what we just saw on the 1 was this movement here. Okay. See that? See how that works? Your 1 hour is that move here. We're about to come into this target here. Now, what we want to wait on, let price hit that target and then give you a pullback and then get long. Because you see here, we've got on a 4-hour fib, the larger wave, we've got a 50% pullback up against daily support. So that long-term target off your 4 is right here. Okay. Prime example, fractals, right? Just fractals. Smaller time frame represents the larger time frame. Just smaller versions of it. So this is that wave that we saw. And so what we want to see it, we want to see it continue to push, pull back, push through this B boundary, even retest it. Right? See the price action retest it. And then we want to see it just keep right on moving. Okay. Keep right on moving. So we want to stay until the risk sentiment shifts. We were just talking about that. We've got a strong CAD. We've got a strong CAD. We've got to respect that. So 100 basis points is no joke. All right, we'll continue to keep that close eye on oil. So that's your CAD yen. Just continue to look long. Wait for new opportunities though. Wouldn't jump it long now. Wouldn't jump it long now in this current position. Any questions?
No, sir.
All right. So I want to look at something out. I had it written down. I wanted to check this Euro Aussie out because yep, it's still dancing around in that zone. This one, I don't know. It's not it's good news for the Aussie, but man, it's that iron ore price, everything with the Aussie has been kind of sour, so it didn't give a whole lot here. This keeps hanging around, so I'm not doing anything with this yet. But that was good news coming from Australia, but I'm still overall bearish on the Aussie. So I wanna, it's just moving sideways right now, so nothing right now, but keep an eye on this because it's still hanging around in this AB boundary and it's back where it was before. So if we end up getting some bullish momentum, right, a strong break in the close back above 148.60, we get, a move out of the zone, right, with that pullback, then I'm going to look to try to get back long on it, right? That one paid off good for me last time. I got caught in that down move, had to get out, but it stopped me out in profit. But I still would like to get long on this Euro Aussie. So nothing right now, but just keep a close eye on this Euro Aussie pair. All right. So I want to see how going over the next couple of days with this news with employment, how that Aussie reacts. Ryan, what do you think? You got out of this too, right? Long?
I took the majority of my profit, but I'm still in that move to the upside.
Okay.
Had a pretty decent entry on it off that last pullback that we had.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still looking for it. Ultimately, I'm bearish on the Aussie too. So I'm looking forward to continue to move up. If I got a trend line running down off of that high, if we get a break to the upside, look to keep it going. But my stop is just below that the 1,447,644.
Okay, that weekly
So
level.
if we break below, it'll stop me out there. But I took the majority of my profit off that push to the upside once it turned over and pushed back down. So I made up pretty good on it, and that stop won't even take back all of that. So
yeah, because I keep checking this, every day or so, and I'm like, because it's such a big mover, right? That's a huge. Whenever I see a Euro Aussie pair get down deep into your buy zone, I start paying attention to it, everybody, because if you get that reversal, it moves. It really, really moves. Like it did off these levels. It moved off that level last time, right? So off that 61.8 zone, the last time, right, it topped out over 500 pips. And so it's just kind of moving sideways right now. And we're not getting a whole lot, at least yet. Things can change London and New York, but not getting a whole lot right now based on that news. So we'll see. We will see. I think those recession fears that you've been talking about, Ryan, is kind of weighing on that Aussie.
So. And that article you sent earlier too.
That video.
The video. The sentiment on it isn't necessarily the best.
No.
So.
No, and they've got a cooling housing market, which is a huge part of the economy too. So continue to keep an eye on the Euro Aussie. I want to take a look, everybody, at this Euro JPY.
That's been a mover too.
Yeah, it's been a mover. And you see how we're just stuck right here.
Yeah.
We are stuck. So it's holding up in that zone. So we look at the 4. Okay. You see how, let's see if any of you guys notice this, what this is. Okay. Because I really don't look for them a lot, but when I see them, I see them, or at least the potential for them. You see how this is a beautiful, right? How we typically see that V-type reversal, right? Like this. Okay. And that reversal move, and then sometimes you get, your crown, or sometimes you get your head and shoulders pattern, right? Depending on if the high gets taken out or not, that V-type move. But this here, okay, look at this, okay, and then look at this. You guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
See that? So I don't look for it all the time, especially in the Forex market, where stock traders look for this like crazy. And they look for it like crazy.
It's not a teacup.
I was waiting on that one.
I am over here dying.
Well, the classic name for it from I think it was William O'Neill, How to Trade Stocks, back in the 80s, right? Great book if you all can get it. One of the best books ever written on trading. It got reframed as a teacup. Yes, it did. But it is a classic. You go down to the 1 hour. It is a classic cup and handle. It is a classic cup and handle. So you've got the potential here for a breakout. Do they always work? Nope. But when you see it, you recognize it. Okay. So you can see here, you see this here, like this. Right. See that? And now you got your handle and your breakout. Right. So here, like so. Let me right. So you got your classic, your cup and handle. So what you're looking for, you can see it starting to move sideways here. Okay. See that moving sideways. So the way you play that is you got your level here, and now you've got your handle. The way this handle is working as pure horizontal consolidation. So what you're looking for is a breakout from that handle, okay, and above this level, like so. Boom. Okay. So lot of folks, like I said, especially in the teacup, a lot of folks in the stock market, a lot of your traders, that's a classic pattern. Okay, it's your cup and handle, and we may have that on the Euro JPY. I know Mark Minervini, that's one of his classics that he likes to look for, big time trader. And we seem to have a bit of that going on here. So just continue to watch the Euro JPY. Again, inner to outer trend line breaks. Okay, so that may indeed play out. So keep an eye on that Euro JPY as we are on the 4. Okay, and look at that, where we're just kind of holding in the zone. So let's see. Let's see what happens with that. Okay, let's see what happens with that. See if we can, if it wants to break out at least right to that outer trend line there. Okay, I've been waiting on it too. Been waiting on it. All right, all right. So let's see what happens. Let's see if we can get that breakout. I just know these euros at some point. It may seem like it, but no currency goes down forever and ever and ever. At some point, they like to correct. And I think some of these pairs are getting to that point. So we just want to be on alert for those pairs. All right. So that's one on the Euro JPY that we want to pay attention to. I'm not really digging anything else with those euros. We know, look, this is just the euro dollar that just all right, there we go. It's coming right back down to that parity again. So I want to see if it continues to push down. Now, if we get the 80-20 type look on this, so think in your head where the DXY is. Okay, EU a mess. It is. It's getting pummeled. But at some point, we'll see. We know that the DXY is approaching some major highs. So maybe we push down into this 80-20 zone. Just keep a close eye on that level. Okay, that zone. See if it starts to push sideways a bit. Look at the DXY at the same time. And you might get that correction. Right? But if I'm looking to get short at this point, I definitely, me personally, I want to see price correct. Ryan was talking about this 103.40 level. Okay, it was right at the 382. You know, at least want to see price start to pull back, because that's what price does. And then look to get short, but it may not. It may go all the way to this D extension in this 96 by the time the DXY continues to run. That's why I say, hey, focus on this zone here. When it gets here, if it just continues to blow through it, it's probably going to push right onto that D extension. So wouldn't surprise me. So no play on it right now, unless you're already short. If you're short, then you're just managing your trade. Okay. When we say no play, we're really mainly talking about, hey, if you're looking for an initial entry based on how we teach, we don't necessarily have that yet to the counter or with the trend. Okay. If we're short, we always want a high price. That's what we prefer. And we use the fib levels to determine our high prices. Okay. Any questions on that Euro USD? Here's Lil John.
Could you go back to the Euro Yen, the 1 hour?
Yeah, sure can. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you're playing this based on that fib, then it has already pulled back to the 0.80, and you would take it. Yes.
Right. It's already pulled. It's pulled deeper than that, actually. It's pulled, yeah, to 8.6. Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
8.6. It was already taken back 86%. So yep, that could be a potential target for you.
Okay.
Right there. So if you swung it out of this zone, right? So if you were playing this, right, you say, you know what, I got a trend line break. For one, this is a beautiful 80-20 play. You guys see how whether it's a sub fib or a capital fib, how it just plays out all the time? Like, look, AB boundary, shallow retracement, right up into this 118, 127 zone, and it dropped off, right? As a matter of fact, it dropped off 200 pips. It's a beautiful, beautiful swing. Now, if you're looking to take that, then maybe, you know, you use your confirmation and you draw your trend line, right? Something like that. Okay. So if you take this off the swing, if you say I got an inner trend line break, I'm looking to get long after my pullback, then you're up right now, right? You're up off that swing. It's deep in your zone. Look at the risk on that. Look at your risk. That's what it's all about, probability and your risk to reward. So if I put my stop below my A there, look at the risk reward on that play. So I've got an A6 pullback. So off the level, wherever you decide to get in, right, you got 70 pips, but you're looking at 150 pips to that extension. Okay.
Got it. Thank you.
Got it. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Because the beautiful thing about the fibs is it helps give you a little bit of clarity, right? Because through all of the mess, it might move sideways, up and down, choppy, but at the end of the day, price is still going just like this. It's still moving in the wave, right? It's still moving in the wave. So it just kind of quiets the charts down a little bit. At least that's what it does for me. So that's where we are there. It's be interesting to see if we get that breakout and that teacup. Yeah, that's the Euro JPY again. And
I said it for you because you were afraid to say teacup.
I love it. I love it. I just rebranded everything. But here's here is the pound Swiss. Okay. Here's your pound Swiss. See how it's kind of see how it hits this level and it stalls. That's when my antennas go up for this type of setup. Okay. That's when the antennas go up. It's like, okay, we've got a shallow retracement, B boundary broken, price is starting to stall out, move sideways, consolidate. Can we get that breakout to the upside? This breakout, here's the pullback. So now it's just a matter of, can we get a boost from the pound? That was good news that came through today. Right, it's gonna be interesting to see how the market reacts. We got the report for Goldman Sachs. Okay, so starting to cut the odds a little bit, but if, right, we play probability, if we get this move this long out of this zone to this 382, so there's a target there, one target, okay, 219, but then ultimately to that 382, that's 300 pips. It's 300 pips, just like that. Where my risk is a little over 100, 114 pips. I can rock with that. Why? People say, well, that stop loss is wide, but you divide your risk percentage by your stop loss. That way you're always good. So if you do that, you say I'm risking 2%. Even with 100 pip stop loss, you're still only going to lose 2%. If you say 1%, if you divide your risk by your stop loss, even though price can move against you 100%, I mean 100 pips, you're still only going to be out of 1%. Well, that's too small. I don't want to trade this. Well, you need a bigger account. If you want your 1% to be bigger, you need a bigger account. Or scale into your trade as it moves in your direction. Or tighten your stop up and run the risk of getting stopped out a high percentage of the time. But then we don't want to hear any aches and pains about how many times you're getting stopped out either. Can't have it both ways now. All right. Any questions on the pound Swiss? 80-20 potential setup. 80-20. Okay. If you want to be short, you want a high price anyway, right? So it needs to go in this direction anyway for you to get short. Unless you have rules that say I short off the beat boundary, or you have a certain set of rules that you use, totally up to you, that will enable you to continue short right now or enter an initial trade short based on where it's at right now. You want to wait. You want to wait. Okay. Like this. That's why you wait. See that push? See that move down? It's a 4-hour chart. That's 546 pips. It's huge. The swing up was almost 300. Big moves. Big moves. Ryan, are you sitting? You're in this one, or are you waiting?
I actually I entered on it earlier off that pullback off that sub fib
Okay.
on that retracement play.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. So that's where we're at on that.
Quick question on the sub fib. Now,
Sure.
in Smart Trader on your 4-hour, you went to your high to get your high A, B coming down. But then the sub fib, how did you go about pulling that on Smart Trader? You just went to the low?
Just went to the low.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. Just went to the low in my zone.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. You're welcome. Great question. So, pound yen, still dancing around, right? Still dancing around. I took a long position on this, right? And it's choppy, but it's trying to move. So this is still kind of in no man's land. It can go either way, everybody. I'm hoping that with the good news that it got, that it gets a little boost for the pound, but you can see it's struggling. It is struggling. So we'll continue to watch that on which way it goes. But the reward to risk was there, so I took a shot at it. It could turn over and continue to go short. Ryan, you're holding your short position, correct?
Yeah, I'm still holding a short position on it. It's way up, so I got a little distance on it.
Yeah, you got a good entry on it. Yeah, you got a real good entry on that. Congratulations on that. In case you didn't run this pound yen setup. You did the
euro yen.
Euro JPY.
The Euro JPY, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I knew it was one of them, one of the yen crosses that you did. Any thoughts on this pound yen, or you just hands off of it?
I'm not in this one.
Okay. Oh, you're we don't like the Euro GBP, but you don't like the pound NZD. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah.
All
No.
right.
And Euro GBP.
Right. Okay. I got you. Pound NZD, that's why we don't. This one is quick. Absolutely nothing. So we'll take a quick shot at that. And the pound dollar.
Been straight sideways since April,
Man, that's just terrible. That is terrible. No, thank you. But this one, hey, look. So what a difference a couple weeks made, right? You guys remember when we were going back and forth talking about this and how it was just dancing around? We got the beautiful move off the 60-weight, and it was just dancing, and then it broke. Well, look, patience pays, right? Off that 4-hour support they got broke, 336 pips. Okay, so if you held and you're in it, stay bearish. And definitely stay bearish now, because it's formed a high after retested as 119.33. That's what I was watching. It was trying to do some damage today. I moved back to the upside, but it didn't, and it's holding below. So I mean, here's the D extension. Okay, here's the D extension. Still 366 pips away on this 4-hour. So we know. So look at this level. Okay, level, but mainly this one here. Okay. So even on this 4, if you're taking a look at this, it still becomes the same thing: price action, support, and resistance. Okay. So we want to see if this can continue to work its way down, break the level. You see how it broke this level here and came back and held and formed a new high? Well, maybe we get the same thing here. Okay. Maybe we get the same thing there. And then a continuation. Okay. So be patient. If you're not in on it, continue to be patient, but it does have a way to go. You are coming into a 118, 127 zone. Right? And a lot of times you do get a reaction. You may get a stronger reaction at this level. We don't know. But, you know, or it can dance and move sideways for a while. Positive news for the pound today. It's been the first positive news in quite some time. And we know the dollar is running strong. So we'll see what happens. But this is this 118.08. A break below that, you expect maybe a retest and a continuation down based on the fact that we've already got a 61.8 pullback. So again, we're looking for an ABCD move. An ABCD move. A, B, C, D. Right? That's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. Over and over and over again. Be patient. So this is what we mean, right? So you don't have to go looking every day. That's your thing, right? So I'm not speaking to everybody or for everybody, but you don't have to go looking necessarily for 10 or 20 pips a day, right? But you also may have days where you don't trade at all. You may have 3-4 days. You may have a week where you don't trade at all because you're just waiting on your setup. But when you hit that sweet spot and you get that monster trade, okay, you just cleared. Right, you just cleared 500 pips off the 61.8. Off that 61.8 level was 350 or so off that break of that 4-hour support after the range. But you just cleared more pips than a lot of people can catch in a month in one move. Right? So you may have this trade running for a month, and during that month, you get something else to line up for you. So now you're starting to drip trade small trades in on that new trade. And now all of a sudden I've got multiple trades running and compounding. And so once I'm up in this trade, okay, now my account, the size of my account is slowly growing. So that next trade that I take is really going to get taken on house money, right? On house money. So that's the edge. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of swing trade. I agree with you 100%, Casey. It's the best way to go for busy folks. I know you know. For sure. Because there's plenty of opportunities, right, to scale in. Maybe you put in 30 cents. Oh, I got to break that consolidation, pull back. Maybe I put in another 30 cent, pull back. Just add to the position. Okay. But the reason why we tell you how to spend, you know, good time on the chart, getting your reps in whenever you can, is because that helps you build confidence in the move too. It's hard at first to think, man, this is going to go to the D extension. Right? That's why we tell you, hey, you can take some profit along the way at some of the levels, adjust your stop. But you guys see over and over and over again that these moves play out. They play out. So that's it on the pound dollar. On the I wanted to take a look at this pound CAD, because we got some new levels. So this is the 4, right? But we know right now it's strong. So you see we've got to break it at B boundary on this pound CAD. So hey, I'm not, unless you're already short, right? Which we know has been short forever. If we come to the daily and we take a look at it, look at that, right? See, this is a classic, right? Impulsive move. Everybody knows who's in control here. The bears. Right? And we're almost to this D extension, but this daily D extension is in line with this monthly support, okay? Which is putting you in line with that 80-20 zone on your 4. So don't be surprised, right? Deploy those trend lines wherever you want to do it, but don't be surprised if you start to get a bit of a reaction at this level, okay? Because if we get it here, that's 454 pips just back to the 382. Just back to the 382. Okay. So just continue to watch this one. I don't want to take the short now. I don't want to buy it now with that B boundary broken. Let's just see if we can get that pushed down. Because guess what? If you miss it and it takes off to the upside, then the overall move right now is down anyway. It's overall bearish. We're just in a down retracement zone. So what do you do if you miss it? You just wait for your high price, check the sentiment when it comes time. And if it's still, hey, I'm bearish on the pound, I'm bullish on the CAD, then I'm just going to short it, right? I'm going to short it off the trend line on the 61.8 for almost 1,000 pips. So just be patient. You will trade less, but you will make more money, right? You will make more money. Any questions on the Beverly? You're welcome. Thanks for being here always. We really appreciate you. Appreciate your feedback all the time. And that's the pound CAD. Any questions?
No, sir.
No, no. All right. So I want to take a look at a couple of the NZD pairs. Okay, as they are running. That's on the one there. You see where that's breaking? It's breaking monthly support. And if we come, what was I looking at on this pair? Look at that. Another break of the beep. Same thing over and over and over again. Okay. So we want to watch it as it comes down to these levels. We want to watch the oil price. We want to watch the risk sentiment. Okay. As we start to push through some of these levels and come into these key zones. Same cycles over and over and over again, everybody. Okay. Can't make it up. It's happening in real time. Look, new AV boundary on the 4. Okay. New AV boundary on the 4. Just be patient. We're pushing below that level there. Done it. Okay. Maybe we get it to break and come down here. If you're a bear, then you just wait for your high price. Wait for your high price. Okay. Simple. Not easy. Because everything else that's involved with trading. But it's actually a very simple concept. All right. So that's that on the NZD CAD. Then we also have the NZD Swiss. Looks familiar, right? Kind of that same type of scenario on a lot of these Swiss pairs. Okay. You don't have to over-index on them. Maybe you just pick one, right? But they're all kind of in that same position where they have to make a decision. Do they want to push up out of this 118, 127 zone? Or do they just want to continue down, right, to that D extension? Okay. When I see the setup, I look to take my shot. I don't win them all, but there's only a few places we're looking to trade. In this bear trend, right? This move to the downside. We're only looking to short in our sales zone, and we're only looking to buy, right? That B to C move, if we like that move, or that classic 80-20. This is my favorite here, that 80-20 counter to trend. That's it. All other stuff in between, don't care about. But when I see these moves, I have to have it marked up and I have to be ready because I'm not looking for too many other opportunities. Okay. I filter those opportunities out and I look for the high percentage plays. All right, so that's the NZD Swiss. Any questions on that or any questions on anything that we covered? I know we went over a lot of pairs, but you know, hey, we're at that time in the cycle where getting them at key levels. So we need to be on alert. We need to be patient.
No questions on this one. Our question is if you can check Ethereum.
Ethereum, yeah, I can look at Ethereum real quick. Let's take a look at it. Well, that crown played out.
Man, oh man, did it.
That crown, if I was there, Right? I might be able to have an Olympic sized pool in the backyard if it can hold it.
Man, listen,
If
I
I
was
actually traded
just thinking,
cryptos all like that.
I was just thinking that, man.
Just
Like, I really need to start trading these.
I was thinking when we were talking the other day about a small pool in the backyard, this one might have sealed the deal. Been able to do a few
man.
laps like this. But yeah, that's it's probably gonna go this. That might go there.
Yeah, man.
That might go to that level. So that's the daily on crypto. What else do I have? Yeah, it's just same stuff, different asset class, new AB boundary. It's moving sideways. Correction and straight down maybe. But I don't see that getting a crazy major reversal anytime soon. I might be wrong, but I'm not a crypto expert either. So that's it.
You said it a while ago, but this is moving just like the tech sector is, man.
It is. It is.
It's moving exactly like it. So tech sector might get a little pullback as we go through this earnings season. But overall it's down.
It is down. It is down. Like Tyson against Buster Douglas. Just lost mouthpiece and everything. It's just down. So there we go. So that's Bitcoin. Just moving sideways.
Yeah, staying below that key level at 23,000.
Yeah. Let's root for that 10,000, everybody.
Man, listen.
That's rude. Oh man. So there we go. So that's it. Ryan, Casey, anything before we wrap things up?
I don't have anything today.
All right. So you got an interview coming up, huh?
Yeah, we're
Ready to
going.
talk?
Oh, yeah. We got a interview with Ebony on Friday, and I'm looking forward to it. I thought it was important for people to know that it's okay to step away sometimes when you need to, just to restructure, reorganize, get refocused, and set yourself up for success in the future. So Cassandra says she's looking forward to it. That's good. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it for sure. So I hope that you guys can tune in. It'll be at 8:15. There's an event in the group that you can put a reminder on, either on YouTube too. It'll be on that channel as well.
Sure. Awesome work. Casey always behind the scenes getting it done. Yeah. So
Yes, sir.
yeah. Ryan, what you got?
Definitely excited about that interview. Ebony, aka Easy Money, she's been with us for a while, and her story is awesome. So definitely looking forward to that. But good people, you guys see it, man. It's about sticking to the process. Sticking to the process, giving yourself grace, giving yourself time and opportunity to really learn the methodology. And the more time you put in, the more you're going to get out of it. So that's it, man. Great session, bro.
Appreciate it. Everybody, have a great rest of your evening. And we'll see everybody, like you said, tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's rock and roll. Have a good night, everybody.